Hey guys, it's David Doty with Call It Closed International Realty, and today we are talking about how to prepare for and take a listing appointment and what to do when you get there on that fateful day. So, great question. The first thing I would say is go out and make a social media post about once a week and have some specific statistic that you get from the National Association of Realtors website or some other related real estate statistic on how often people move or average sales prices are increasing, something just once a week. Keep your social media personal, keep it fun, but once a week make a real estate related post and ask if anybody is looking to buy or sell. Eventually, somebody's going to say, "Hey, Bobby, yes, I'm ready to sell my home. I'd like to talk with you." Say, "Okay, great. I can't wait to meet with you on that special day when we talk about selling your home." But you, at that moment, go into information collection mode. Ask them, how long have they owned the home? What have they done to it since they've owned it? They may have replaced the roof, they may have replaced the carpets, they may have remodeled a bathroom. Any of those things are going to impact the value, and if they haven't done anything to it and they've lived there for many years and had lots of family members coming through and there was lots of wear and tear, that's going to certainly impact the value as well. You want to know that before you get there because you don't want any surprises when you go for the listing appointment. On the day of the listing appointment, go into the MLS and run comps at least two, if not three different ways. Look at the comps in that specific subdivision or in that very specific quarter-mile radius of where that house is. You're going to look at comps for the entire school district, for how many homes are selling in that specific elementary, middle, and high school district. You're going to also know what the general real estate market is doing in the greater area. Maybe it's in the county or the municipality where this home is. You want to know average days on market and price per square foot and how a 5-bed 3-bath home sells compared to a 5-bed 2.5 or 5-bed 2 or even a 6-bed 4-bath. Know those details like the back of your hand, because I assure you, if that person has been thinking about selling their home for any amount of time, they've already been on Zillow and Realtor.com and lots of other websites. They already have an idea of what these homes are selling for, but they don't have the full data. So you will have printed off 3 different CMAs with different information, different data sets, different comps. Some of them will overlap, but you want to look at the value of the home and try to project a sales price by looking at all of the data. And on Zillow, it might say that a home sold for X number of dollars, but it's probably not, it won't share the concessions. And so you need to bring these things to light because you want to give the homeowner a full picture. And they're all wanting to know, how quickly can you sell my house and for how much, and then how much am I going to walk away with? So be prepared to talk those numbers. It's very important. Get all of that information and study it before you go to the appointment. When you go to the appointment, make sure that you dress appropriately for the type of property. If it's an entry-level house, you might want to dress a little bit differently than if it's a $1 million property. Not necessarily, but use your own judgment. Be professional. It's very important that you be on time. And when you go into the house and you're being introduced, look and be observant. If the seller is standing there in their bare feet, you should start taking off your shoes unless they protest and say that you don't need to. Immediately ask for a tour. As soon as you look around, you've done your introduction, you shake their hand or fist bump or elbow or whatever you're doing these days in the corona times, ask for a tour of the home. Can you show me around? They should be expecting that you're going to want to look around. They might be embarrassed because they haven't emptied their hamper or something like that. Make sure that they're fully at ease. Tell them you do this for a living. You're doing it all the time. You wouldn't believe some of the crazy stuff that you've seen. Tell them that you've seen crazy stuff and their home looks amazing. Not to worry about it. Do the tour. as you're doing the tour, point out features in the home that are attractive, that are good selling points. Oh, I love the corner fireplace. That's beautiful. I love the vaulted ceiling in the bedroom. Those are really nice. I love that the way you redid your master bathroom. It's beautiful. Compliment them on what they've done to the home. Homes are very personal, and people feel vulnerable having somebody walk through their house like that. So make sure that you are building them up, and not lying, but be encouraging. Look for things to encourage and compliment them on. Um, After you've asked for a tour, start identifying their needs. Now, you will have gone through, and it's okay to say, to transition and say, before we start talking about your motivations, I need to go over the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure with you. Now, that's a separate video. You can look for it on my channel if you want some pointers on how to go over that. But then start talking about their motivations. What are they looking to do? Are they upsizing? Do they need every penny they can get out of this house in order to get a down payment for their next place? Maybe they're downsizing. Maybe they just want to take their equity and pay cash for their next property. Do they have somewhere else to go should the home sell quickly? Identify all of their motivations and then begin walking them through the process of what it's like to sell. Now, if they ask for your feedback, that would be great, because you want to say, I think if you were to replace the carpets, you would definitely see a return on that investment. I think if you were to paint the walls a lighter color or a more neutral color, it would be more appealing. Well, I really like the chartreuse walls that you have in your living room, Mr. Seller. I mean, I think it's a beautiful color. It's not going to appeal to the majority of people, and we want to make your home as appealing as possible to as many people as possible. And so they're going to be expecting that you're going to give them some feedback like that. So be willing to do that. Be ready to do that. Explain the market. So you should know the average days on market. You should know the price range of similar homes in that specific area, of what they've sold for, price per square foot, on the low end, on the high end. So the low end is obviously going to be homes that are more worn, maybe not as updated. And so you could probably get $117 a square foot if you just listed the house exactly as is today. If you were to paint and replace the carpets, I think we can get you $128 a square foot. It would cost you $7,000 to do that, but you're going to make $14,000 back at closing if you do it. So it's a 50% return on your money. So if you're willing to do that, if you have the funds to do that, it might be worthwhile to think about doing that. If they don't have funds, but they have equity in their home, they might want to get a home equity line of credit to help pay off some of those things. They might want to put it on a credit card. And they might be able to find even contractors who are willing to accept payment at closing. So there's all kinds of different options on financing those kinds of deals to get a home in tip-top condition to be able to sell. You want to be able to have a number for them of what the home would sell for given those different scenarios. And then if they're able to, they should be able to tell you what they owe on the home. And if they do that, you should be able to give them a really good estimate on what they're going to walk away with at closing. And then you want to explain the process to them. So if the average days on market is currently 42 days, 45 days, you want to tell them that up front. Look, it's taken homes about 6 weeks to sell right now. Once we get a contract on the home, it's probably going to take another 30 to 45 days on average to close. So you're looking at about 3 months from start to finish. When would you like to get started? Okay, and so depending on what they're going to do, if they're going to take your advice and do some painting, say, okay, great. How long will that take? When should I schedule the photographer? And when Gerard comes out to take photos, he is going to get the photos back to us within about 24 to 48 hours. So if it takes you 2 weeks to paint and get the flooring done, I'll have Gerard come out in 2.5 weeks. That way we have a little bit of a buffer. We'll schedule him. Gerard takes the photos, he gets them back to me. I will send them to you. I will put the home into the MLS. We'll do coming soon for 3 days, and then we'll have it go live on Saturday morning. We're going to do a huge open house if that's okay with you, and that'll be part of our listing agreement. And if we do this open house, I think that we can get 3 offers by the end of the day. Whatever it is, you want to explain the system, show them that you have a plan, and be very careful that you are hearing them also. Don't go into information share mode and start spewing out the facts like I'm doing right now and not be listening. You have to make sure that you're addressing their concerns, and that's going to go a long ways towards earning their trust as well. So you look them in the eye, you ask them if they have any questions, you answer their questions, and then you ask them if you appropriately or fully answered their question. Make sure that they're fully on the same page as you are. So important. One of the biggest complaints that people say about realtors is that the communication was poor. And there's 2 different aspects to that. One is we don't listen. We don't do a good job of listening. We don't do a good job of explaining. And so we want to overcome that gap so that these people are not complaining about you afterward. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is we want to be available. One of the biggest complaints about realtors is that the person's not available when the client needs them. So set your expectations. If you're working 9 to 5, which is kind of what my schedule is, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, if you call me in the evenings when I'm eating dinner with my family, I'm not gonna be able to talk on the phone right then. I might have to text you. So if you have a quick question in the evening, that's fine. Text me. I will get back to you as soon as I can. But I'm not going to be on the phone for 45 minutes at 8 o'clock on Friday night when I'm trying to watch a movie with my children, if that makes sense, or I'm going on a date with my wife. So all of those things, I think, and then my last thing, I can't read my notes. Last thing is ask them for their next steps. Before you're leaving, you want to have a good idea. Are they going to interview another realtor or 2? Great, that's fine. Then you ask when you can follow up with them. If you've done your job well, they should be ready to proceed before you leave. And you can say, okay, I can send you the listing agreement via email. What's your email address? And you should have it buttoned up. It's going to come across as your confidence level. And if you're extremely confident and you know your numbers, you will get the listing 85% of the time. Hope this was helpful. Love you guys. Be blessed. Talk soon.